What's up, Hyperfast Nation? On this episode of The Wealth Show, we are going to talk about the last phase of doing a great development deal. So previously, in the last two episodes, we talked about how to buy great deals, how to manage them, but eventually you gotta land the plane. Right? So you can have a great flight, but if you don't land the plane, no one's going to remember what happened before. So stay tuned for another great episode of the Hyperfast Wealth Show. All right, Sunil, so we're back and talking about getting out of the deals,
okay.
The sale.
Yep.
So you've sold I don't know how many deals now.
I mean, hundreds.
Yeah. So and obviously Keri and I on the real estate side have sold thousands of homes for clients, for ourselves, for you, for other builders. What would you say off the bat are the most critical things to think about on the sale from the perspective of a builder, investor, developer, to think about up front, before they even buy the project?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I was going to say. You should start thinking about the sale, even before you buy the project. That involves, again, how you're going to price it, what kind of features you're going to put in it, are you going to have how many bedrooms, bathrooms, all those type of things. And really, that's where the real estate agent that you're going to work with at the end should be involved from the beginning, because they know all that stuff. And they say, in this neighborhood, we want 3-bedroom, 2 baths. In this other neighborhood, maybe 1-bedroom, 1 bath work really well. In D.C., for example, when you're closer to metro, smaller units work because it tends to be more, single people. They don't really worry about, a car and commuting and all those. A 1-bedroom, 1 bath is fine. But if you're far away from metro, you probably need a little bit larger units because they're more family-oriented, just as a small example. So think about all those things up front. That way, when it comes time to sell, everything is ready and you've kind of got a great product. I think that's one of the reasons we have been very successful, is because we do all that upfront planning, and by the time our projects hit the market, they're the right price, the right finishes, they have rooftop decks, they have everything that people want.
Yeah, so you got to know the market, the end buyer, but before you get into the deal, know what it's going to sell for. Know what you have to do to it to get it to sell for that. And I think another important thing is don't bet on appreciation. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So when we do our projects, we perform them at what are things selling for
today,
right now.
Right now.
It would be really easy to say, hey, a year ago it was this. Now it's this. I could do that, right? I could go back and be like, wow, DC went up 10% last year. Because it did. It would just from July to July. I know that was a few months ago, but July to July, we saw 10% bumps. We bought a lot of projects in there, but we were not banking on 10% price increases. But I think this is where sometimes people get in trouble if they don't have multiple exits and their strategy is, well, I can pay this for it because a year ago it was 10% cheaper. So obviously next year it's going to be 10% more.
Yeah.
You
should be thinking the other way. What if it went 10% down, right? That's what you should be performing it, not up. And that's what happens. Deals are competitive. It's hard to get them, and people tend to they try to justify why they can pay more. And they use justifications like you said, oh, well, the prices, they'll be up 10% next year, no problem, and we can sell it for more. But that's danger. No, do not do that.
Yeah, so I think, price is like the biggest thing. I'm going to jump over the board for a minute.
Okay.
Right, so you want to get the price right. So you got to go into this with the right expectation. You got to know the product, like Sunil mentioned, like what types of products will get that price. Like, you know, if we're selling $1 million condos, we're not putting white appliances in there.
Yeah.
Right. We're not putting laminate floor and countertops in there. I don't think we do that on any of our projects right now.
Especially the $1 million and above.
All right. So you have to have the right product to get the price that you're.
Right. And we work with designers just for that thing, that they kind of know what sells. So if you really are challenged in that area, I mean, I don't think it's super hard, but if you're challenged, get a designer. It doesn't cost that much. It's well worth the money.
Yeah, and we've got like different, if we're selling a $400,000 condo versus 800 versus, 7 figures over $1 million, we've got different appliance packages. Like I would expect it to be the same in any market. Like the price is gonna really influence the product and vice versa. I think the other thing to think about is placement. So how are you going to get, and this really is like traditional marketing, how are you going to get this product in front of people? I know from the traditional marketing sense, when they talk about placement, it's, well, this cereal is going to go on this shelf, and like that's like all negotiated, and what shelf height and all of that. So like, are you going to do open houses? Are you going to do magazine ads, direct mail, digital marketing, which, digital marketing, you can get very, very targeted, email marketing. So like, how are you going to get placement and promotion, right? These are all like how you get the product in front of
the right buyer.
Of the right buyer and to get the price you want. And I think a lot of times too, like people think like, wow, I did a great job marketing. I sold it for over market value. And real estate market's not as efficient as stock market, so it's a little hard to get in. I would say more of the more people you get in front of, the better chance you have of capturing full market value. Because if a willing and able buyer is able to buy it for something, well, that's the market value of that product.
Absolutely.
Only takes one person. So get it in front of as many people as possible through placement and promotion, and start early. Right? I think this is the key, is start early. And I think in new construction, you'll typically get two buyers at two kind of points. Like you'll kind of have the dreamer buyer that buys it when it's a piece of paper, and maybe they can have input on some of the stuff that goes in there, and that's a whole nother can of worms.
Right.
If you want to even allow that. Ooh, losing my microphone here. Even if you want to even allow that, because that's a hassle to make adjustments for sure. But you get these people that will buy it, when it's a piece of paper. Then you kind of get the people that are like, you know what? I just want it to all be done. I want it off the shelf.
Right.
I want it. I don't want to have to do anything.
Right.
But, starting early helps you with both.
Right.
So if I'm promoting something that's going to take 6 months to build, and maybe I sell 20% of the time I sell it up front, 80% of the time maybe I finish it like the month before it's finished or as it's finished, and we've had that happen on a number of projects. I think Williamsburg, we sold it like right after the drywall went in.
Yeah, it was like about a month or two before it was finished. Yep. Right.
Yeah, and that's typically, you might get sales initially on a project if you do this well. And what I've noticed is maybe you'll build up interest, but if you don't get the sale early, typically it'll happen like right after drywall, because now the person that wants the finished product, they can see it once the drywall is in. That's the key. But all along the way, you're doing your placement, your promotion, you're getting getting the project in front of as many people as possible and following up with them as well.
Right. Typically, like MLS obviously is a one of the major ways you place things, so to speak, in real estate. But yeah, what we do is we tend to put our projects on the MLS right away when they even as soon as we own the property. Sometimes we have plans, permits, renderings, things like that. But then if it doesn't sell in that first phase, we actually tend to take it off of the MLS because we don't want it to sit there like look the days on market are super long, because we, like Dan was mentioning, we kind of feel that middle phase, if you don't get the sale up front, then you really are kind of waiting till closer to the end of the project. But yeah, that's what we found with MLS placements.
I know my writing's terrible, but MLS obviously is one way to start early. Open houses. We had a project down in Alexandria. We did an open house preview, sold 2 of the penthouses, pre-sold them already. Digital ads, so Facebook, building awareness, collecting emails, of course, following up with emails, phone calls. You just got to stay in front of people during this time and continue to build the interest, build the excitement. And when you get to that stage where it's ready, all right, so maybe you sell some along the way, maybe you don't, but when you get done, I think the last kind of thing to think about here is packaging. And we've seen this time and multiple times. The better the overall package is, the easier the sale. So, we kind of hinted that there's 2 types of buyers: people that will buy it off a piece of paper, the dreamers, and the people that want it as done as possible. And
right.
I think those types of buyers even struggle with seeing an empty house. So staging is what is in this packaging, and presentation kind of phase. So having a good stager actually helps sell the home faster, quicker, and
we've seen that with multiple units in a building. Like as soon as you move the staging to one unit, then all of a sudden that unit sells. But that was actually the point I was going to make, more from the construction and development standpoint. That whether you have 11 phases in your project or 10 or 5, however you break your projects down, that last phase, that can be very difficult because that's where you have to kind of get the product in that showroom condition, so to speak, because up to that point it's a job site and it can be messy and the landscape's not done and those things. But if you think about it, if you're going to buy a new car, I mean, you feel like you're spending a lot of money on this thing, whether you are or not. That's a different discussion, but you feel that way, and you want the car to be perfect. You don't want scratches. The seat wasn't quite done. So I've also struggled with that a lot because I want my projects, I want them on the market, I want them ready. But if there's a light fixture that isn't done, or if all the light bulbs aren't working, or if there's some cleaning that needs to happen, all those little details really make a difference. And it's actually better waiting to get those done than to say, I just want to get on the market because I want to get this thing sold. And even staging, like you mentioned, it's a pretty big expense, and I just have always kind of, it's a way we can cut costs, and let's not do staging. But I've learned, just do the staging. It makes such a difference. You'll make that money up.
Well, we saw that. I think we mentioned in the last episode our project that finished in the middle of the pandemic.
Right.
We had 2 units in this, and of course, showings, lockdowns, open houses were harder to do right then. DC was very strict state during that time, or it's not a state, but area.
Whatever you want to call it.
Maybe it'll be a state. We'll see.
Republic of.
So we staged the top unit, sold
right
that.
Away. Yep.
Then we waited till the contingencies were done, and then we moved the staging to the bottom unit, and then that one sold
right away, pretty much right away during
shortly
the lockdown.
After.
Yeah.
So staging matters, and then that little crap matters too. And
it really does.
It is a tension between getting it on the market and having it look
ready.
Great.
Yeah.
Because if there's drywall dust on the floor,
just little things, because
hardware that needs to be adjusted, just little things, the buyer starts thinking,
something's wrong.
If I can see this, what's behind the walls that's messed up? And they just,
like in your kitchen, you could have one knob that you didn't get, right, because it was back ordered or something, and you really shouldn't list it, because people are going, oh my God, this is an awesome kitchen. Their eyes immediately going to go to that one knob that's missing, and they're like, something's wrong here.
People are just fear based, and there are people out there that do bad jobs, but most people that are in the business, I think long term, do a good job, or they wouldn't be in it long term.
Yeah, I typically have the agent that I'm going to have list the property. I have them go through as a separate set of eyes, because again, during the project, I see the project every day, and I sometimes miss these little things that a buyer would see. So I usually make that the responsibility of the agent. I try to actually have them go when I'm not present, because I think sometimes I might be like, oh, that's no big deal, don't worry about it. But they'll take blue tape and really point out everything that they feel that a buyer would see. And then our job is to go back and fix all those items. So I think having that separate set of eyes, independent set of eyes, is very important at that final stage.
Yeah, and don't be surprised if it takes a little bit longer than you think, because you've kind of been exciting. It's been 6 months or longer of plans, permitting, and building, and now like you can see it done, but there's just all this little crap that takes longer. But it's really important. And then the last kind of part on this, I think 2 episodes ago we talked about getting as many lines in the water when you're trying to find a deal. Well, it's same thing with a buyer. So if you're the agent, or you're looking for the agent to hire, you want someone that has a huge pool of buyers and knows how to find buyers, knows how to do digital ads, knows how to do the follow-up on email, on phones, and has good sign plan, good marketing strategy, and in as many ways as possible to find the buyer. So, so if you're, you want to make sure you're working with an agent that can do that if you are not, one yourself that's doing it. And even if you are licensed or an agent, depending on the area, if it's not like your bread and butter area, you might want to have an agent who is an expert in that area or that type of property. Help you get it sold, because it can make a huge difference. And if you guys are looking for that kind of help in the DMV area, you can certainly contact the Keri Scholl team. It's just kerischoll.com and check us out and what we can do there. And I should also mention, if you're an investor out there, you want to make sure you're partnering with people that know how to do this phase of the project, and we certainly do. So you can reach out to Sunil and I if you want to learn how to invest in real estate and know that you're going to be investing in a project that's backed by a solid real estate team.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I work with you and Keri for almost 10 years now, because I work with a lot of real estate agents, but I found that you guys have such a big pool and wide net out there that even if the marketing or whatever you're doing for my project doesn't work for whatever reason, you often have brought a buyer from another project or another marketing source. So that's why I think we've been very successful over the last 10 years doing this. It's very important.
Yeah, you got to know how to land the plane, or the rest of the flight doesn't matter. We can certainly help you do it, or show you ways to do it. So hope you guys got a ton of value out of this, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button, like it, share it, get it in front of more people for us, because Sunil and I want to help more investors make more money, create more wealth through real estate.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you want to see more videos like this, click right here. And if you're new to the channel, click below to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. And let me know in the comments what you think about the videos. I'll see you next time.